All right, Mets fans, welcome back to the True Mets Talk podcast. Diving into the latest Mets news, we did have a trade, believe it or not, that went down between the Mets and the Twins yesterday. We are breaking that down, what it means for the roster, and also talking about spring training upcoming because there is a certain person within this Mets organization that is already preparing for spring training and is already in Port St. Lucie doing that preparation. And after that, we are getting into a quick channel update right here, and I will be talking about that. So let's get into it. Before we do, though, as always, you know what the deal is. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the updates, if you enjoy just listening to this channel and all the content that goes on talking about our beloved team from Queens, make sure to smash those thumbs up buttons right here on this video and subscribe if you are new. More content coming out all off season long. We'll be doing coverage for spring training, and we will be doing pre-games and post-game streams just like we have been doing the past couple of seasons during the 2026 regular season. So make sure to go ahead and subscribe. All right, yesterday the Mets and the Twins did complete a trade, and this was announced right here by the SNY Mets account. They stated, the Twins have announced that they have traded Vidal Brujan to the Mets in exchange for cash considerations. Brujan appeared in 60 games for 3 different ball clubs last season, playing every single defensive position besides catcher and first base. And the Twins claimed Brujan off waivers from the Atlanta Braves as well. So a super utility player in Brujan coming to the Mets organization and will be invited to spring training, no doubt about that. He is a guy that I checked the Fangraphs, and that claim is definitely accurate. He played every single position outside of first base and catcher. He is a very strong infielder. And I'm not saying the Mets are going to need him at all because this is not really a difference maker. You take a look at his offensive metrics, this guy cannot hit a baseball. And that's just what we need to understand about this type of trade. It is defensive insurance. You invite him to spring training. He most likely, I would probably have to put a large bet on it if I was a betting man that he is not making the major league roster come opening day. But this is a guy that you stash in the minor leagues to start the season in case you need the positional flexibility and they call up during the midseason. And so the Mets send over cash to the Minnesota Twins in exchange for Brujan in this scenario. Brujan also plays outfield, but coincidentally, the one outfield position that the Mets still need at this point is left field, where he posted the least amount of innings of any position that he, appeared in last season. So Brujan is not the answer to the question mark that remains in left field for the New York Mets. And I fully expect, even given this trade, it won't hinder the Mets' pursuit of a veteran option, most likely to go ahead and get for the rest of this offseason, whether it is via trade or whether it is a veteran free agent signing like a guy like Austin Hayes. We've talked about a plethora of options remaining on the table. I think the Mets are going to go the free agent route. I can't see them wasting many more assets in a trade for a veteran outfielder when you have a couple of good options on the free agent market as it is. I mean, maybe they decide to get a little bit fancy and go out there and get a Harrison Bader type, but I doubt it if they go ahead and commit to a guy like Carson Benge. So that is the latest trade between the Mets and the Twins, a non-difference maker. He's making $820,000 guaranteed. That is absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things when you are the New York Mets. This is the larger story, though. And I just mentioned Carson Benge, and this is great news, what every Mets fan wants to see. Carson Benge, according to Will Salmon and Ken Rosenthal, is already in Port St. Lucie ahead of the upcoming spring training that we are going to see. A lot of positional battles happening, especially given some of the holes that are still on this roster. The Athletic also reports that Benge spent time hitting with the Holiday family at Oklahoma State this offseason. So you got Matt Holiday and you got Jackson Holiday as well. I know there's one more Holiday. I don't think that he has been drafted yet, and I'm not sure what his name is, but somebody fact check me on that. But that is an elite family right there to soak up all that knowledge when you are preparing to fight for a position on a roster that is a pretty strong roster at this point, given what David Stearns has done. So I love the preparedness from Carson Benge, getting to spring training early, not messing around, and realizing that the Mets and David Stearns have already stated that he is going to be playing a large role, presumably in the success of the 2026 Mets lineup. And this is what you want to see from one of your top prospects, doing their job and staying ready during the offseason and getting ready to battle out for spring training. Now, whether he makes it to the roster come opening day remains to be seen. And I think that also has everything to do with the potential free agent veteran signing for an outfielder that I just alluded to a couple of minutes ago. If the Mets somehow don't go out there and get an outfielder, I think that Benge is going to be on this roster no matter what he does in spring training. But if they do get that veteran in the outfield, whether it's a guy like, Bader or Starling Marte and reuniting with him, or a guy like Austin Hayes, I think that provides them a lot of flexibility to say, hey, listen, maybe you didn't really have as good of a spring training as we wanted you to have. We're going to put you in AAA, but be ready for our call because that could come sooner rather than later. But pretty much everybody is projecting him to be the starting left fielder at this point for the New York Mets come opening day in Queens against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I'm excited. I really haven't been as excited for a prospect as Carson Benge, maybe since like a Michael Conforto. I know that's way back, right? Back in 2015, and that's a long ways out, and we're over a decade from 2015, as crazy as it is. Time just keeps on slipping by. But for a positional player especially, unless I'm forgetting somebody, I mean, Pete Alonso, of course, everyone was excited there, but Michael Conforto really, when you're talking about the outfield, was the last, and coincidentally also lefty bat to really come up and have this sort of attention garnering around him. And I am ecstatic to watch him in spring training and eventually put on a Mets uniform in the regular season. So Carson Benge is staying ready. We discussed the Mets and Twins trade, a little bit of a minor trade, doesn't really have much implications for what the Mets might do for the rest of the offseason. Let's talk about the channel real quick. And I wanted to mention this because I'm going to be starting something new on my channel. And this is a way for me to show, appreciation for you all as subscribers that choose to listen, with your time almost every single day when I go live, when I, post a short video, when I make a long form video like this one. And I really want to go ahead and connect with you all and make sure that you all are being heard as well. And I can answer any questions that you may have about what I think the Mets are going to do in 2026, whether it is, projection types, whether it is roster construction questions still remaining. So what I'm going to do is every single week on the community tab of my page, you see all the different categories. You see videos, shorts, lives, and then community. I will post every single week a True Mets Talk Q&A, like you can see on your screen right here, for you all to either post any comments that you have about the Mets or questions that you want me to answer about the New York Mets, and I will be including these Q&A discussions and answering all of your questions and comments in these videos that I post every single week. We will do it once a week to start off and keep things going, and if it is a hit, if you all enjoy it, if you all feel like you are getting something out of it, then we will continue to do it on the channel. So that's what I have planned for the channel coming up, in addition to everything that we have going on, talking about the Mets and giving my projections and any breaking news that may happen between now and the start of the regular season. I just wanted to make sure that you all are getting the most out of this channel as well, going into such a big season ahead for the New York Mets. So Q&A, do not be shy. questions, comments in the community tab. You can find that over there, and I'll be pulling directly from those posts that I will be doing every single week. So I appreciate you all tuning into this video. Like I said, not much or not big news coming out of Mets land yesterday outside of that little trade and the Carson Benge discussion. We also do have to talk about eventually the Freddie Peralta extension, but it's kind of hard to talk about that when David Stearns mentioned that they are not talking about it currently and that they will hold those conversations in private when those negotiations start up, because I would have to assume that either they've already started or they will be ramping up very soon. And we cannot wait to see if the Mets can get a deal done before the regular season with their newly acquired ace. So I appreciate you all tuning into this video. Like I said, make sure to smash those thumbs up buttons on this video. Subscribe for more Mets content. Almost to 3.2K subscribers on the channel. It means a lot. Thank you for your support. We'll be doing Q&As to get all your questions and comments answered soon. Let's go Mets. See you all in the next video. Peace.